Today, actually, we have come over here for discussion about the calcium deficiency and vitamin D3 deficiency. What we have found nowadays, most of the people they suffer from calcium and vitamin D3 deficiency. And recently, it has been estimated that near about 80% of Indian populations has vitamin D deficiency. What is the reason behind it? It's very simple because our exposure to the sun is very minimal, which is not found in case of European country because they go for sunbath, and because of that you will not find the vitamin D3 deficiency to that extent. Not only that, it has been also found that 70% of pregnant mothers are severely vitamin D deficient, and it has been found the children born to these mothers, they have a 81% vitamin D deficient. Now, how we can overcome this problem? What could be the solutions for the same? And even also it has been found that if there is a vitamin D3 deficiency, automatically the calcium whatever we take or whatever supplement we get from different foods, that calcium is not being absorbed in the body to that extent. And it has been found that 50% of people over 50 will be at risk of osteoporotic fracture, because if the calcium is not deposited in the bone, then bone becomes thin and thinner. We call it osteopenia. And if there is further loss of calcium from the bones, or if there is no proper deposition of calcium on the bone, then what will happen? The bone become porous and we call it osteoporosis. So osteopenia is the initial stage of your osteoporosis. Now osteoporosis, if it continues, then bone becomes fragile, easily breakable, and that lead to fracture. So we require a proper supplement of calcium, and simultaneously we have to also overcome the problem of vitamin D3 deficiency. So in a nutshell, 87% of adolescent girls do not recommended intake of your calcium as well. Now, there are three segments are more prone to this calcium deficiency. One is the pregnant lady. Why the pregnant lady they have a calcium deficiency? Because they require the calcium supplement for both fetus as well as for herself. Second one is the pre-menopausal women. That means after menopause, what happens? The estrogen secretion goes down. When estrogen secretion goes down, the osteoblastic activity, that means bone formation, goes down, and osteoclastic activity, that means destruction of the bones, will be more. So what happens? Bone is not being formed. There is no deposition of calcium or phosphate in the bones, but there is a breakdown of your bones and there is a loss of calcium and phosphate from the bones. So bone becomes thin and thinner, initially osteopenia, and it leads to osteoporosis and ultimately fracture of bones. So now why it happens? Because this lady, they have a very God-gifted hormone that is called estrogen. This estrogen basically takes care of your osteoblastic activity and it reduces osteoclastic activity. But after menopause, there is no release of your estrogen. That's why it becomes reverse. Now here osteoblastic activity goes down and osteoclastic activity goes up. So there will be no bone formation, but there will be a destruction of bones. And due to that, the calcium and phosphate go out from your bones and bone becomes porotic.